organized by IEEE Student Branch from Banariaman Institute of Technology. We can't teach people everything they need to know. The best we can do is position them where they can find what they need to know and when they need to know it. On behalf of IEEE Student Branch BIT, delighted to welcome the renowned speaker of the webinar, Ms. Indumati Gunasegran, Associate Software Engineer at Accenture. She has completed her bachelor's degree in ECE at Panimula Institute of Technology. She was the section lead of IEEE Extreme 14.0 coding contest conducted on 2020. She is the chairperson of IEEE Pearl Society's Student Activities Committee. She is the regional student ambassador of IEEE Computer Society. She is the co-chair of Special Track at IEEE SS12 and she has bagged more than 5 awards, some of which includes IEEE Women in Engineering Inspiring Student Member of the Year 2020, Emerging Student Volunteer Award from IEEE PIT, Epsilon Pi Epsilon Honor Society Award, Richard E. Merwin Scholarship Award. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and joining us today. We genuinely value a time that you spared for us to be a part of this webinar. Welcome, ma'am. Next, I bid a hearty welcome to Ms. Reena ma'am, the faculty in charge of Women in Engineering, IEEE Student Branch, Banariaman Institute of Technology. Welcome, ma'am. My cheerful welcome goes next to the participants who adorn the session, and I also like to welcome my fellow IEEE members. Thank you all for joining with us. I request all the participants to be inside the meet throughout the webinar and to fill the feedback form without fail, which will be posted in the chat box at the end of the webinar. Now, I call upon Reena ma'am to inaugurate the session. Ma'am, few words please.
Good evening, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I am Reena Catherine and I am the faculty in charge of IEEE Student Branch at the Banaraman Institute of Technology. So today is the second session of the event, the second webinar. So today we are presenting the event and the speaker is Ms. Indumati. So I welcome the speaker Ms. Indumati and thank you for making the event much more auspicious by your presence. So now without further ado, we'll turn the time over to the presenter. So our presenter today is Ms. Indumati. So ma'am, can you please continue? Can you please start your session?
Thank you, ma'am.
Is Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Like, do you find any echo from my side now?
Not now, ma'am. It's clear now.
No, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Oh,
good.
okay. So first of all, before getting into the session today, I want to thank Nikesh for inviting me and the Banariaman College, and I would also like to extend my thanks to Professor Reena for giving me an opportunity here, and Priyanka. That's a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I'll share my screen and let me know if you could see it. I hope it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, to the participants today, we will see about the Azure Fundamentals certification. How can you get Azure Fundamentals certified? So, I'll tell you the preparation guide, a few exam vouchers so that you can apply for the certification at free of cost. How can you get started with the preparation first of all? And while introducing me, Priyanka started with this beautiful quote saying that we cannot teach people everything they want, but we can tell them what they need, how they can get started with. So that's a very beautiful quote that you have added to the webinar today. And yes, today I'll tell you the various things that you need to be doing to get Azure Fundamental Certification. And yeah, this is a very little introduction about me. I am Indumati Kunashekharan and I am working for Associate Software Engineer at Accenture India. Most of my introduction got covered already. So let's deep dive. And in today's discussion, I'm not going to talk about what is cloud, why you should be choosing cloud, and how is it beneficial over on-premise storage service. So we are not going to talk a lot about that because that will take another 1 hour of time. And even I'm not going to compare the different cloud services that are available. So can I ask you a question, the participants here? Have you heard about cloud computing previously, anywhere at any place? And I think you guys are participating in the hackathon as well, so definitely I think you would have been heard about this term. If you have heard about cloud computing, can you put S in the chat box? If not, you can say no. There is no wrong in it. And let's make the session interactive. You can interact with me through the chat box. If you have already heard this word cloud computing, already know a little bit about cloud computing, you can put S in the chat box. I get one response. No idea. Good, good, good. Ace. Ace. Okay. This is a pretty much good response. It's good that few of you here have already heard this term cloud computing. And to those people who are going to say no for this answer, haven't you heard about iCloud, Xiaomi Cloud, if you are a MI user especially? Like each mobile phone is also having its own cloud service, right? And they are offering you some amount of free space to store your photos or documents over there in that particular company's cloud itself. So yeah, that is cloud service. And cloud service in the sense you tend to store your data in someone else data center. That is, you don't own the storage space. Usually in our phone we use this SD card hard disk to store the files, right? But when you choose to store in iCloud or Xiaomi Cloud or any other company's cloud, you store your data in their storage space. You are not exclusively buying the hard disk from that company. Instead, you store it in their storage space and they are owning the hard disk and everything for you. And they are offering that service for you. So cloud computing is that simple. It is that. And to those people who said that you have heard about cloud computing, have you heard different cloud services? Like, what are the different cloud names have you heard? I'll tell you an example. There is this example. Azure is one of the examples. Azure is the cloud service offered by the company called Microsoft. What other cloud services have you heard? Especially if you are a LinkedIn user, if you use LinkedIn on a daily basis, you would have seen lots of people posting about their certification, cloud certification, right? So apart from Azure, what other cloud services have you heard? You can put it in the chat box, write it in the chat box. If you haven't heard any different cloud services, you can also say no. Any responses is welcome. I don't see anything. What happened to the participants?
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Participants, we would like to know your comments through the chat box. If yes, type yes. If or no, type no.
Thank
We would
you.
like to hear responses.
Uh, Pretty awesome. So yes, I got the two best cloud services in the chat box. So there are multiple cloud services like Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, GCP, and IBM, Oracle. There are numerous cloud services. Alibaba cloud services there. So there are numerous cloud services available in the market, and of all the cloud services that are available, the top three cloud services that many startups and many companies prefer is Azure, GCP, and AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Service, and it is the cloud service offered by Amazon. And GCP stands for Google Cloud Platform. It is the cloud service offered by Google. And the cloud service offered by Microsoft is Azure. So each company will have a name for the cloud service it is offering. And the top three certifications that are pursued widely is Azure, GCP, and AWS. And here in this webinar, I'm not going to compare the different cloud services, like why you should choose Azure, why you should choose GCP, what is the benefit of AWS over GCP and Azure. We are not going to compare that. And I'm not also going to convince you why you should be choosing Azure over other cloud services. Instead, I'll directly tell you like what are the things that you could do to get your learning path started with Azure. And this Azure certification, what is the purpose of taking this certification, you may ask me. The first thing is cloud is the growing field. Even if you see in Google like how much cloud engineers are getting paid all over the world, the pay is like will be very high compared to any other job roles available, because the cloud is the growing field. No company is setting up its own data center. Instead, they are depending on others data center. Like instead of buying your hardware, like many people used to store photos in Google Photos, right? We used to store photos in Google Photos and delete it from our device, right? So like, would you be choosing to buy your own SD card, buy your own storage and store your data there, or storing in someone else storage is easy? Which is easy? Obviously storing in other storage space will be easy, right? Because you need not to manage the SD card, you need not to see when it is going to be full and when it is going to get damaged. You need not to care about all these things. You just go store your photos there, and the company take care of hard disk and everything. They take care of that. So due to this advantage, most of the companies, most of the startups are preferring cloud computing. It is the growing field, which is growing a lot and lot these days. And many students are started to learn, have started to learn about cloud. And many professionals, even who are working in the industry, also have started learning cloud. It is such a growing field which is offering high pay, very high pay. And so if you want to make your career options in cloud, or if you are a cloud enthusiast who want to learn about how storage happens in cloud, how it is happening in cloud, all those things, if you are interested in learning, or if you are focusing on knowledge, skill and recognition, like when you say that you are Azure certified, you are GCP certified, you are AWS certified, obviously you will gain recognition in your company. So if you want to gain that recognition, gain skill and knowledge, or if you're focusing on professional development, like adding this certification skills in your resume will itself add value to your resume. So if you're focusing on that kind of professional development as well, then Azure certification is a good choice for you. And here, this is the roadmap of Azure. In Azure, you have various numerous certifications, and you could see all the certifications are categorized into three categories. The first is associate, and second is expert, third is specialty. These are the categories. And for all the three categories, for associate and expert and specialty, for all the three categories, that is for all the certifications that you see under these three categories, the basics, the fundamentals is Azure Fundamentals certification. So this is not a mandatory certification, but I'll tell you why is it important to pursue this certification. If it is not mandatory, then what is the necessity to pursue this certification? I will tell you on the future slide. Someone has told IaaS in the chat box. IaaS is infrastructure as a service, and that doesn't come under the various category of AWS, GCP, and all. Okay. And yes, so these are the different categories of certification that Azure is offering. And associate, expert and specialty, you can call these certifications as role based certifications. Role based certification in the sense, like after finishing the fundamentals, if you want to pursue your career as a developer, then you can go for this developer certification. Instead, if you are interested in artificial intelligence, then you can go for AI engineer certification. Or if you are someone who is interested in starting your career as a database administrator role, then you can go for administrator certification. So all these are role specific. After completing fundamental certification, you need not to pursue all those you see under associate, all those you see under expert. Instead, you can choose the certification based on the role that you want to work in, based on your technical area of interest. So these certifications that you see here are role based certifications. And if you want to take a screenshot of this, please take a screenshot of this slide, because after finishing Azure Fundamental Certification, it will help you to choose the accurate certification based on your technical area of interest. And coming to the next slide, I'll tell you why Azure Fundamentals. I told you in the previous slide that AZ Fundamentals is not a mandatory certificate. Then you can ask me, if it is not a mandatory certificate to pursue, then what is the necessity to pursue that certification? You may ask me. Let me tell you. Like, AZ Fundamentals is a very good way to start with Azure. And in this, you will be learning the Azure services. In the sense, like someone mentioned in the chat box, IaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. It is one of the cloud services offered by like AWS, GCP, Azure. All these cloud services are offering this IaaS. PaaS, SaaS, platform as a service, software as a service. So these are the cloud computing services. We call it as cloud computing services. So you will learn about all the cloud computing services and cloud computing fundamentals. If you are a person who have no idea about what cloud computing is, how is it functioning, how we are storing data in the cloud. So like, storing data in the cloud means, don't think like the cloud that we see above in the sky, we are going and storing the data there. No, it is not like that. Instead, you are storing your data in in a data center. Like, in a data center will have lots of servers. You can consider the servers like the SD card. A server is not exactly equal to SD card, but to give you a picture of what servers and everything looks like, I'm telling you that. So you can consider that as a SD card, and someone will be owning that SD card. You will be paying for the storage space that you are going to use in their SD card. So that is how storage works. It is not like cloud computing. Storing in the cloud doesn't mean like you are storing your data in the cloud that you see in the sky. It is not that. So yes, if you learn for Azure fundamentals, there you will get an opportunity to learn about cloud computing fundamentals. What is cloud computing, how data is stored, and what are the different cloud computing services offered by Azure. You will learn all those things. And next, it will give you confidence and get you familiar with the exam experience. Obviously, in the last slide, you have seen various levels of certification like associate, expert, specialty. So all these levels of certifications are like important certifications. They are important certifications and will add value to your resume. So if you are planning to take up those category of certifications, then taking up Azure fundamentals will be like taking a sample test or mock test. It will get you familiarized with how the exam environment will look like, how the questions will be asked, what are the types of questions, different types of questions will be asked. So it will get you familiar with those kind of things. And if you add this in your resume or LinkedIn, it may help you in attracting the recruiters. Obviously, like certification, I will not say that certification, any kind of certification, I'll not say that it's important, but the knowledge that you gain out of pursuing that certification matters a lot. Like, instead of like, we may even get certification by marking up 10 questions, 50 questions, we can go and write it in the examination and get certified, but that certification is of no use. The knowledge that you gain while learning for that certification matters a lot and lot. And if you complete this certification, let's say in a class of like, you are in your final year and in a class of 90 students, if 10 students have completed this certification, obviously the recruiter who is coming to your college will consider these 10 candidates as the high priority. And out of these 10 candidates who are seriously prepared for the certification and who has all the knowledge about the things that they have learned for that certification, will be given very high priority. So this is how it works. It will help you attract the recruiters even in your LinkedIn, or those recruiters that comes to your campus for hiring. And as a student, like for a student level, this certification will definitely add value to your resume. And this is not a mandatory certificate. As I've already told, Microsoft has marked it not a mandatory certificate. but it is a good choice to pursue this certification. And the certification code for this certification is AZ900. If you haven't seen the previous slide, you can see here, like for AI engineer the code is A100, for developer the code is AZ203. Like that, each certification will have its own exam code, and for Azure Fundamentals the exam code is AZ900. You have to be remembering this code, because whenever you search for any learning materials you have to search with this code, else you will be getting learning material for other certifications and you would be reading it without knowledge. So it's always good to remember the exam certification. AZ900 is the certification code for Azure Fundamentals. And is next, next you can see the skill weightage. When you sit for the examination, the entire examination, in the entire examination, these skills will be given of high weightage. You will get questions only from these topics, and each of these topics, for each of these topics I have given the weightage, that is weightage of the question asked. And for Azure fundamentals examination, you will get 20 to 25 percentage of the questions from cloud concepts like IAS, SAS, PAS, like the different cloud concepts. You will get 20 to 25 percentage of the questions. And about the Azure services, what specifically Azure is offering in the cloud computing, general services are there. Of those general services, what Azure is specifically offering, so you will learn about it, and from that 15 to 20 percentage of the questions will be asked. And about core solutions and management tools on Azure, you will get 10 to 15 percentage of the question. And guys who are listening to me now, if you are not understanding any term in this slide, it is completely okay, because after learning for the certification only, you will get to understand all these terms. So it is okay if you are not understanding any of these terms, no problem. But once you start learning, once you start preparing for the certification, and if you are in the stage of sitting for the examination, then these things will definitely be helpful for you. So you may take a screenshot of this slide now, because it may help you in the future if you are planning to sit for Azure fundamental certification examination. And about the general security and network security features, like in cloud computing, you are storing your data in someone else's data center, right? So you would be worried about the storage, how they will store your data. You'll be worried about the security kind of things and all. So how Azure is offering security to the data that you store in Azure. So all these things you will learn about, and from that 10 to 15 percentage of the questions will be asked. And about identity, governance, privacy, like the privacy features and identity, like who has access to your data, who has no access to your data. So all those things, 20 to 25 percentage of the questions will be asked. And lastly, you will study about Azure cost management. Like for using other storage space, you will pay some amount of money, right? So how the money calculation is made, how the cost and everything is calculated when you use Azure storage service. And those cost management and service level agreement is the agreement between the customer, that is we, and the cloud service provider, that is Azure. So those service level agreements and about the cost management, you will get 10 to 15 percentage of the questions. And if you want to see about the skills outline, if you want to get a detailed thing of all these things, you can go to this link. I'm putting it in the chat box. It will be helpful for you if you are starting to prepare for the certification. So make note of all those things. If you are serious about the certification, then make note of all these things. And AZ900 preparation resources, coming to the preparation resources where you can prepare for AZ900 certification. If you ask me this question, I would say the best resource to learn AZ900 certification is MS Learn. MS Learn is Microsoft Learn. It is a documentation. Microsoft Learn is a website where you will have lots of documents about Microsoft services and Azure services. So MS Learn is the best website to learn about Azure fundamentals, and this is a free of cost. Like you need not to pay anything. If you like want to purchase courses in Udemy or Coursera and all, you have to be paying it. But in MS Learn, you can get it at free of cost, and those documents are written by the developers or the engineers working in Microsoft itself. So it is the best resource to learn, to prepare for Azure 900 certification. I'll show you the MS Learn page. You can see the screen of mine, right? So go to Google and type MS Learn. The first website that you see is the Microsoft Learn website. Go to that Microsoft Learn website. I'll also give you the link in the chat box. If you have joined from a laptop, you can simultaneously navigate to the site along with me. And here you can see this is how MS Learn page will look like. You can sign in if you want. You can sign in. You can sign in with your Gmail account. If you sign in, it will show you the progress bar, like how much you have completed. It will show you that. Let me try signing in. Mhm. So firstly, you have to be signing in. So is mm, okay. Documents. Um, let's not like since I have joined from office laptop, it's asking me authentication kind of thing. So like you can sign in from, you can try signing in from your account. I don't know why is it asking me these many things. So like you can go sign in. Once you sign in, you may be able to see the progress bar. That is, once you get started learning with the Azure fundamentals, how much of the learning thing you have completed, you will be able to see that progress bar here. And this is how Microsoft Learn website looks like. So here in this Learn website, what you have to do, first of all, after going there, you go to the products. Like in the Learn website, go to the products and choose browse all paths. And in the browse all paths, you have to search for the certification. It's better to go with the certification number, that is the exam certification number, because that will take you to the right site. And search for this. AZ 900 is the certification code for Azure fundamentals. Here you can see Azure Fundamentals Part 1. Don't go to this link, Introduction to Azure Fundamentals. You will not have many of the things there. Instead, you have to be going to Azure Fundamentals Part 1. Go to this, and there you have to start your learning from here. From the first line, you have to be learning. So this is how your learning will be. Like you will be able to navigate to the other sites. Like you have to click on start. Once you click on start, you will be taken to this module. Like in Azure fundamentals, you have six parts to complete. Once you complete all these six parts, you can confidently sit for the examination. And once you've learned all these things thoroughly, it is more than enough to pass the Azure fundamental certification. And each of these path will be having a modules in it. You can see here modules in this learning path. We are in the learning path 1, and in that learning path there are several modules. You can see first module is Introduction to Azure Fundamentals, and second module is Discuss Azure Fundamentals Concepts. So each of these are modules, and inside the module you will have sub module. You will have next option, so you can navigate that and learn accordingly. So firstly, complete part 1 and go for part 2, and you have to complete until part 6 before sitting for the examination. All these parts are important. So like I will also give you this link so that you can directly go to the learning page. And later, like here you will have the option to bookmark your things. I'll show you that also. So here you can see the options like save. So go here, like it's asking me to sign in and it's not signing me in also. Let me sign in from this account. Okay, I have signed in from this account, and you can see the progress bar here, right? Level 7, 6,450. So you will have the marks, like total marks, and out of that what is the mark that you have scored. And the progress bar. So this is how the progress bar will look like. And here I can like previously I have clicked on save, and it has saved me in the sense, like while reading this I'm not understanding few of the things, let's say, and I want to revise these page again, revise this particular page, I want to revise again before sitting for the examination. Like after completing all the learning path, I'll be sitting for revision, right? At the time I want to revise this page again. If that is the case, I can save this page. It will go and get stored in the collections. Okay, here you can see when I click on my profile, you can see this collections. There if you go and see, all the things that you have added will be saved in the collection here. So you can directly go to this and revise if you want. So this is how collection works. Even you can bookmark the pages and save it for future references. And yes, this is how you should be learning the things in Microsoft Learn page. And later, after after revising the documents that is there in the Microsoft Learn page, after completing all these 6 parts, you can go to the YouTube and search for Tim Warner video or a guide to cloud video. So these two videos, there are lots of videos available in YouTube, and I have evaluated all the videos. Out of these two are the best videos that is available on the internet today. So Tim Warner video, if you don't understand the slang of Tim Warner, then you may go to a guide to cloud video. So a guide to cloud is a YouTube channel. Again, I'll show you that event. Like you can go to YouTube and search for a guide to cloud. So here you can see he has bookmarked he has playlist in him. Like you can see here, this is the playlist for AZ900 course. So here you have 61 videos in his playlist. You have 61 videos. So after preparing everything from Microsoft Learn side, you can come to this video. Either you can choose Tim Warner or a guide to cloud. You need not to be revising both the videos as well. So you come to here and see all the 61 videos for revision purpose. Like once after learning in MS Learn, you don't have to revise from it again. Instead, these videos are great resources. You can even sleep on your bed and spend 30 minutes of time before going to the bed. You can sleep on your bed and listen to these videos, whatever the concepts that he is saying, and imagine and relate it with the things that you have read. So these are the great resources that you can use for revision purpose. And here, not only for AZ fundamentals, he has created playlist for other Microsoft certificates as well. So if in future, if you are pursuing other expert or other level of certifications, you can visit this site and go through his videos. And in his videos, he will also have some sample questions. By the end of each video, he will also have sample questions, like some 3 to 5 questions he will have for per video. That questions will also give you some kind of confidence. Like when you try answering for that question, you will know whether you need additional revision or whether you are thorough with the concept. Even those questions are the great choice added in that video. And after that, after revising the thing in YouTube, you can go to this examtopics.com. Examtopics.com is a site which has sample assure questions, and I'll show you there. Go to examtopics.com, and it has the sample question for several cloud examinations. So here you have to be clicking find your exam now, or you can directly click the search option that you see here. And here you can write the name of the certification or the exam code. For Azure Fundamentals, the exam code is AZ900. I'm typing it, and you could see it has taken me directly to AZ900 site. And here you can see like duration of the exam and everything, who is providing this certificate. Microsoft is the provider, and everything you could see here. You can click on go to AZ900 question, and there you go. Here you have lots of questions. Here you can see lots of questions. You can try answering those questions, and yes, if you are able to answer the question, it means that you are good with the topic. If not, go revise the topic, because like passing the examination is not a easy thing. So, and in a page you will have some 5 questions, then you can click on next question, it will take you to another 5 questions. So that's how this exam topic works. And preparing the questions given in the exam topic is more than enough for sitting for the Azure Fundamentals examination. And later that, the in the exam preparation, let's like recall what I have said in the previous slide. Firstly, learn the concepts given in the Microsoft documentation thoroughly, and while learning in the Microsoft documentation itself, you will have the feature to access the sandbox. So I haven't asked any questions for a long time. Let me ask you this question: do you people know sandbox, or have you heard about sandbox? Yes or no? It is just a simple yes or no question, and I want to just know that whether you people are listening to me or following up with me or not. So, have you people heard about Sandbox? No, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. To the people who are saying yes, like it is not the box that is having sand. No, not that. Sandbox is different. Okay. So it's good that you people are listening to me, and thanks for your response. Sandbox, in the sense, it is a thing that will allow you to access Azure services without paying. Like for using the Azure services, obviously you have to pay for what you use. For whatever the thing that that you are using in Azure services, you will definitely have to pay. But while learning the Azure services, or while preparing for the certification, you will come across the concepts, and definitely you will need hands-on practice. Like when they say creating virtual machine, or storing my file in Azure services, when they say that, you will obviously want to see how storage occurs, where you have to go click and store your file. You will obviously need hands-on practice, right? So for that purpose, what Microsoft have done in the sense, they have created this sandbox feature. And when you click on activate sandbox, few of the modules, like I have shown you, for AZ900, it has 6 parts, and each part had lots of modules, right? So few of the modules will be having sandboxes, and when you click on activate sandbox, the sandbox will remain active for a particular period of time, and it may vary, like it may remain active for 2 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. It depends on the hands-on lab that you are going to pursue. The time may differ, and for a particular period of time, your sandbox will remain active. During this activation period of time, they will give you the credentials. They will give you username and password. Using that username and password, you can go log into the Microsoft Azure account. Like the link for that is portal.microsoft.com or portal.azure.com. I don't know. Like you can search Azure portal and it will take you to the link. So you can go to that link, log in with the credentials that is given for you when you have activated the sandbox, and you can use the Azure future features. Like you can create the virtual machine, create a storage space, and you can store files, store videos, and see how it is getting stored in the Azure. And you can write SQL queries and see how is it working. So this is the purpose of sandbox, to give you hands-on experience, to familiarize you with the Azure portal and how to use the Azure portal and Azure services. Microsoft has introduced this sandbox feature. And yes, like you should not be sharing this username and credentials with some other people, and you should not take it as an advantage and use it for some other purposes, like in your startup, if you want to store some data, or for your project, if you want to store your data in the cloud. You should not be using this sandbox feature. This is wholly dedicated for learning purpose only, purely for learning purpose only. For that purpose alone, you should be using it. And if Microsoft found that you are using it for some other purposes other than the learning purpose, they may take action against you, which may include paying some amount of money to the Microsoft, or deactivating your account completely. Like you may not be able to use Azure services from any of your account in the future. So they may take some actions against you if they found that you are using the sandbox feature for some other purpose other than the learning purpose. And after that, practice sample questions, practice enough number of questions. Only practice can make you perfect. Only by learning things from Microsoft Learn documentation and watching the video of a guide to cloud, only doing these things, and if you are going and sitting for the examination, definitely it will not help. Practicing sample question will only help you. Like it will improve your speed. It will improve your speed of reading and understanding the question, choosing the option. So it will get you familiarized with all these things. Practice is a must before writing any cloud certification. And finally, Once you have done all these things, you are good to sit for the examination. You can confidently take up the examination. And if you have followed all these things very correctly, I'm sure that I can give you 100% guarantee that you will pass the examination. Instead, like if you are only reading it for 4 days, going through the concepts, going through the dumps, mugging up questions and going and sitting for the examination, there are chances that you may pass or there are chances that you may not pass. But that kind of certification which you get only by going through the dumps, mugging up, that is of no use. Because when you add this certification in your resume, recruiter will ask you question. I'm very sure about it because I took up the examination only after joining the job, so I didn't add it in my resume while sitting for the placement. And my brother is studying AWS. He has completed AWS cloud practitioner certification. He's in his final year now and he sat for his placement. I was with him when the HR was asking question. He had it that he has completed AWS cloud practitioner certification, and there was questions for him, like the recruiter asked him to define the various cloud services, that SaaS, PaaS and IaaS. He was asked the definitions of it, the expansions of it. Yes, if you are adding that you have completed the certification, definitely you will get questions from the thing that you have added. So be ready for that. Prepare thoroughly, prepare wholeheartedly. Like you are prepare as if you are going to get your career started with cloud. And yes, you can pass the examination if you have followed all these steps. And coming to the exam guide, this slide will guide you to the exam. In the exam, you will have 40 to 60 questions. I cannot accurately say that you will get 40 questions, 45 questions, 60 questions. I cannot give you the accurate number. Instead, I can give you only the range. Like the questions, the minimum question that can be asked in the examination is 40, and the maximum question is 60. You may get 42 questions, you may get 59 questions. It may vary. It is varying from year to year, and this is the range. Like you will definitely not get less than 40 questions. You will definitely not get greater than 60 questions. So 40 to 60 questions you will get in your exam. And you cannot take this exam from your mobile like you do that for a university examination. You cannot do that. Obviously you will need a laptop with good webcam and microphone facility. They'll be checking that. And once you like register for the examination, once you book for the slot, the day before the examination you will be getting a link. You have to go to the link and check whether your laptop is compatible for taking the examination. You have to be checking your webcam, microphone, everything a day before the examination, and you will be given the link to verify all those things. Yes, and you will also need a good internet facility. And the entire session will be recorded right from the moment you log into the exam site. And till the moment you log out of the exam site, the entire session will be recorded. Because in future, if anything is any doubts, if they are getting against you, then they may go to this recording and verify it for any kind of malpractices. So for this purpose they are recording the entire session. And exam the pass mark is 700. You will require 700 mark to pass the examination. Total mark of the examination is 1000, and 700 is the border mark. If you are getting 699 out, full out, no pass, you will not get the certification. So 700 is the border mark. Don't have this in mind. At least like you fix in your mind that 750 is the pass mark or 800 is the pass mark, right? And that is good. And duration of the examination is 60 minutes and the seat time is 90 minutes. Seat time in the sense, once you get into the examination, they will verify your identity. Like they will ask you to show either your Aadhaar card or PAN card or passport, any kind of national identity cards, to verify that it's you who are taking up the examination. So they will verify that, and by the end of the examination they will ask you feedback. They will ask you to fill a feedback survey, wherein they will ask you how was the exam experience for you, how is the exam website, how is the question. So all these things they will ask, like a kind of feedback. You can fill it or you can ignore it. That will not affect your certification. So for all these things, additional 30 minutes is allocated. So for writing this 40 to 60 questions, you will be given 60 minutes. Like see, if you are getting 60 minutes, then for each question you will be getting only 1 minute. So you have to be that fast. Only if you practice sample questions, you will be able to finish it. And the seat time is 90 minutes. I think someone has unmuted. Can you guys go on mute? Can the organizer help me that? Okay, okay. So yes, the seat time is 90 minutes. And if in any case, if you are not able to take up the examination, like there may occur unavoidable circumstances where we may not be able to sit for the examination, we may fall sick or something may happen. In such situations, you can always reschedule your examination, but you have to do it within 5 days. Like today, if you are booking your exam slot, and if today if you are not able to take up the examination, then within the next 5 days you have to reschedule your examination. And after, the good thing about Azure is that once you click on the submit button after writing the examination, once you click on the submit button, immediately you will be getting your score. Whereas in GCP and all, I think it will take some 1 week of time to get your exam results published. But in Azure, immediately after clicking the submit button, you will get your score, and it will also say you whether you have passed the certification or not. And immediately after 24 hours, your certification will be available in your website, like in your Microsoft Learn website itself. I'll tell you where you can access that. And there you or after 24 hours, the Microsoft itself will send you the link where you can go to the link and download your certificate and showcase it in your LinkedIn or in your resume, whatever you want. And question format, coming to the question format, understanding the question format is very important. It is not like the university exam that we take up. The questions here, format of the questions here will be different. Some questions will be different, some question formats may be familiar to us. It's good to understand the question format before taking up the examination, and I have collected the question formats for you. These are the various types of questions that will be asked: multiple choice question, repeated answer choice question, hot area question, best answer, and drag and drop question. We will see each of these in the upcoming slides. This is the multiple choice question, which is very familiar to us. Like, you will get a question, you will get four options. Out of the four options, you have to be choosing the correct option. This is the multiple choice question. This is one type of multiple choice question. Another type is that you may get a question, you may get a fill in the blanks like this, and when you click on this drag down button, when you drop down button, you will get the options. So out of the four options that you see here, you have to be choosing the correct option. So this is how multiple choice question works like. Another is repeated answer choice question. It is a combination of two multiple choice question. You will get your question here, and for this question, what is the correct answer? You have to be choosing it from the drop down. So, like, each question will have subdivisions in it. Most of the questions will have subdivisions. Mostly, like in a single question itself, they may ask three questions or four questions, maximum three questions, two questions. So it will be like that. Subdivisions will be there. And if you are answering the first question correctly, second question, if the second question goes wrong, you will get mark for the first question. So marks will be splitted according to that. And the next is hot area question. Hot area question will look like that. You will definitely get this type of question. And how you have to be answering this question, in the sense, this is like a yes or no question. You can find the question on the left hand side. So for the first question, you have to read the first question, and if you feel that the given statement is correct, you have to mark yes. If the given statement is wrong, you have to mark no. The same you have to do for second question and third question. And in hot area question, this never comes as a single question. Only the first thing will never be asked. Either the hot area question will have two questions, or it may have three questions. And the next is best answer question. Best answer question works like this. In the sense, you will be given a statement. Okay, they will give you a statement, and a part of the statement will be underlined. You have to be looking at it. They will not highlight. Sometimes they may highlight, but most of the time it will be underlined. You have to read this statement completely, and if you find that this underlined part is correct, this underlined part is making sense to the statement given here, then you have to make no changes. You have to mark no changes needed. If the underlined part is wrong, if you find that this is wrong, then you have to choose the correct option from BCD. I'll show you an example here. See, this is how the question will be. No, the same exact question you will not get. This is a sample question. See, today is Monday. First, you have to read this question, and you see that this is wrong. Today is not Monday, so you cannot choose no changes needed. So, what you have to be choosing, today is Saturday. You have to choose option C. You have to choose option C as the correct answer. So this is how best answer question works like. You have to be clearly looking at the underlined part, and if it is correct, you can mark no changes needed. If it is wrong, you have to replace it with the correct word. And next is drag and drop question. Drag and drop question is more or less like they match the following that we used to do in our school days, right? So it is more or less like that. What you have to do here, all those things that you see in the left hand side are the questions, and all those things that you see on the right hand side are the answers. For this question, what is the correct answer? You have to, like, for Azure Databricks, the correct answer is a big data analysis service for machine learning. You have to drag this answer, go and drop it here. And for Azure App Service, the correct answer is host web apps. You have to drag host web apps, go drop it here. So this is how drag and drop question works like. And next is exam voucher. Obviously, you have to pay some amount of money for the examination. In case if you are a student, if you are not earning anything, and if you want to take up examination for free of cost, you can apply for vouchers. Like, how can you get free voucher to take up examination for free of cost? How can you get voucher? In the sense, go to Azure Virtual Days. Like, I'll give you the link. If not, you can also type Azure Virtual Days directly in the Google. You will get it. Hmm. Yes, this is the link. So go to Azure Virtual Days, and there you have to choose you can select any of the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals event. Like, Azure Virtual Days will have lots of events. Like, you have seen various categories of certificates I have showed you, no, AI engineer, developer, administrator. So Azure Virtual Days will be conducting webinars for all these certifications. Since you are preparing for AZ Fundamentals, choose any of the AZ Fundamentals events. It is more or less like a webinar wherein some Microsoft expert will come and teach you the cloud computing concepts, Azure Fundamentals, and everything. It will also help you prepare for the examination. So you go choose the date convenient for you. It will be happening throughout the year. Event will be there. You can choose any date that you may be able to attend. Choose Microsoft Azure Fundamentals event and sign up with your information. It is like registering for the webinar. Register for this, and once you register, you will get the confirmation mail. Check for the confirmation mail. There you will have the webinar link or the virtual days meeting link. Go to the link, attend the event, and by the end of the event, you will be given the voucher code. While registering for the examination, while scheduling for the examination, use the voucher code and take up the examination for free of cost. And scheduling your examination works in two way. You can either take up the examination in the test center, or you can take it from your home itself. Centiport is the best thing. Centiport, they are like exam service providers. They will help you take up the examination, not only for Azure, but for any kind of cloud examination. These two things will help you take up the examination. And this Centipod, if you want to take examination at a test center, then you can choose Centipod. If you want to take examination at your home or office, then Pearson VUE is the best thing. And I will tell you how you should be scheduling your examination by the end of this session. And during your online examination, you have to be checking your webcam, and do it before the day of the examination itself. You will get the link I told you now. So check your webcam, microphone, internet connectivity, everything before the day of your examination. And you should be having a neat workspace. Like, your place should not be clumsy, because the proctor is there now. They will ask you to give you a room tour. Like, you have to show the four sides of your wall. You have to show the proctor that you have to take your laptop and show all these things. And you have to show the proctor that your room is locked, and you have to be showing him her your table, like the table on which you are sitting for the examination. You have to show that. So make sure that your workspace is neat, because they want to check that you don't write anything on the walls for copying purpose, for any kind of malpractices. So for this purpose, they will be checking you the workspace. Have a neat workspace, and disconnect all additional monitors. Don't open Chrome or any other additional monitors, any other additional websites in your computer. Close all the things and open only the exam link. And yes, you will be asked to give a room tour. So I told you while saying the neat workspace thing. Another thing is, like, no other programs should be opened. I told you, na, disconnect from all additional monitors. Some people have this habit of connecting to 2 monitors or 3 monitors, right? So you have to be disconnecting from all additional monitors, and you should not open any other tab or any other application while taking up the examination. And prepare your workspace neat and test your system a day prior, as I've told you, because like during the last minute, if you are opening your system and sitting for the examination, you will not know if your system is compatible or not. Can you guys give me 2 minutes of time? I'll go and take my charger and come. Sorry that I always forget my charger in the room that I work. So is do all these things during or before the online examination, because this will help you get rid of so many problems. Because I have seen many of the people, like their laptop goes down, or their microphone will not work during the examination. At the time you cannot go and search for an alternative, right? So it is better to check all these things before sitting for the examination, at least a day prior. And exam retake policy, if you have failed, in case if you have failed, you are given a chance to retake the certification examination. And retaking policy works like this: first, in the first attempt, if you fail to clear the certification, you should be waiting for 24 hours before retaking the examination. After a day only, you will be able to retake the examination. And in the second attempt also, if you are failing, then you should wait for 14 days before retaking the examination. And this 14-day waiting period is applicable for third attempt, fourth attempt, and fifth attempt. And in a year, like in a year, you can take 5 retakes, not more than that. Even in all the 5 retakes, if you are failing to clear the certification, then you have to wait for another year to take up the certification. So this is how retaking policy works. And you can take a screenshot for this link, because since we don't have much of the time, I'm skipping it. And I will tell you how you should be booking for the certification. To book for the certification, again, go to the Learn website. Here you can see that certifications tab, right? Click on the certifications tab and go to Browse Certifications. So go here. Here you have to be searching for the examination. Write the examination code. Searching by examination code is the best choice. So when since AZ fundamentals code is AZ 900, I'm typing it, and you could see 2 search results appeared. Don't go for this Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals. Go for this exam AZ 900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. Click on this link. And here you can see, you can read, and here you can see the exam cost. It is 99 US dollar, and in Indian money it would be less, I think so. It will not be the exact equivalent of 99 US dollar. Choose the country. Here in the drop down, choose the country. You can see that for Indian candidates, the exam fee is 3,700 rupees almost. So if you want to take up this examination for free, attend Azure virtual training days and get the free voucher code. See, you can see here, you can either book your examination with Pearson VUE or Centiport. For students, should definitely be booking with Centiport only. And if you are non-students, like a IT professional or IT professional kind of things, you have to be booking with Pearson VUE. And Centiport, like, you don't go and book in the website. For Centiport, you don't go and book on the website, because Centiport, I told you that if you want to take in the exam center, testing center, then you have to be booking with Centiport, I told you. So it will definitely be asking you to choose a location, nearest location. See, it is showing only like 60 centers, and in most of the cases, you will not find centers nearer to you. So it is not the best thing to book for Centiport in the website. Instead, I have the contact number of India's lead, Centiport India's lead. So if you are a student listening to me today, and if you want to take up the certification, if you want to register for the certification, contact me personally. I will give his contact number, and he will book for you. He will book for you in the Centiport website on your behalf. And by booking that, you can take up the examination from your home. You need not to go to the test center. You can take up from your home. In the website, you don't have the option of in writing choosing the location from your home, especially for Centipod, but in Pearson VUE you will be getting it. So in case you are moving into the industry and after that you want to pursue the certification, I'll tell you how you have to be applying in Pearson VUE. So here in the profile you have to be filling your profile. Since I have already wrote the certification, I have filled everything. So you have to be filling your name, your job title, you have to give your address, and later you have to give your phone number, contact, everything, preferred language, give everything and click on continue. It will ask the basic general details only. And here another thing is that if you are a industry person working in the industry, most of the companies will support candidates taking certifications, and my company like supports Microsoft certification. And here you will have to enter your mail id, organizational mail id. So organizational mail id, each and every organization will be having their will be giving their own Outlook account for their employees. So when I entered my Accenture mail id here, it waived the exam fee for me. I was able to take up the examination completely free since I am an Accenture employee. So this many companies will support examination like this, like they will itself pay the fee for their employees, and some companies might not support. You have to be checking with your organization, like you have to be checking with your project manager or someone and check if you are eligible to take up the examination for free of cost. And after this, like you can go to schedule examination. Here you can see like Pearson office, test center, as well as writing the test from office or home. So you have to be choosing this. I want to take test from my home. If I want to take test from my home, I have to be choosing this and go through all these things. Like these things are already that I have told you, like a neat workspace and how your computer should be. They will be asking you the government ID proof and what time to expect, all these things. Go through all these things, and later you can go down, click on next. See, you have to read through the policies. Don't directly go click everything. Read through the policies, how they are handling your data if you want, and click on all these things. Then only it will take you to the next site, else you will stay here only. So click on all these things and read everything, okay? And go click on agree. And you can take up the examination in these many languages. If you know French, German, you can take up the certification in that language itself. Out of all the languages here, I know only English, so I'm choosing English and choosing next. Then it shows me like I am not able to take up this examination since I have already passed this Azure Fundamentals examination. I'm not able to take up this examination, so it is stopping me here itself. Next, what you will have in the sense, it will ask you to choose a date. They will give the available dates. Out of those available dates, which date is convenient for you, you can choose that date. And they will ask you to choose the timing. The timing will be like you can take up even in the morning 6 o'clock or night 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Timing will be available all through the day. You will get the timing. So based on your convenient date and timing, you have to be choosing that. Next step is only that you have to choose the date, you have to choose the timing, and book the examination. And in the next, it will also ask you to enter the voucher code if you have any. So you can enter the voucher code, and this once you enter the voucher code here, the price you will see as INR 0 Indian rupees. And yes, you have to choose the date, time, and click on book certifications. It will book you the certification. Once after like scheduling the exam, you will get a confirmation mail. Check your mail continuously until you complete the certification and download your certificate. Until that, you have to be checking your mail continuously. So immediately after scheduling, you will get the certification, and before the day of the exam, you will get proctor details and everything. So taking up examination is that simple. And yes, I have finished with my presentation today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now regarding this certification. And I will also give you my contact details. You can contact me. I'm much active in LinkedIn. And you can also contact me through Instagram more than LinkedIn. I'm active in Instagram. You can contact me at those sites, or you can write a mail to me if you want a professional communication kind of thing. I may help you like at any time. If you are getting stuck, you can always contact me regarding this examination. And now you are open to your doubts and queries. Post it in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Really very informative for budding engineers. Hope all our participants found this very helpful. Dear participants, if you have any doubts or queries, you can post it in the chat box or you can unmute your mic and ask.
No doubts. Great.
Now I'm welcome Ms. Priyanka to, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Good evening again to one and all present here. Honorable Chief Guest Ms. Indumati Gunasekharan ma'am and all other participants. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. On behalf of the IEEE student branch of Banariaman Institute of Technology, I extend a warm welcome to the people in the gathering. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Indumari Gunasekharan ma'am, to take out time from her busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, ma'am, for inspiring and encouraging us with your words and knowledge on this special day. A special thanks to Mr. Sundar sir and Ms. Reena ma'am for providing immense support to make the webinar successful. I must thank the organizing team, volunteers for working hard for the past few days to make this webinar a successful event. I thank everyone for their active participation throughout the webinar. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Finally, I request all the participants to fill the feedback form correctly without fail to get the certificates. The form will be in open for just 15 minutes and you can find it in our chat box. And thank you.
Thank you, guys. It is a well organized event. It's good to see your efforts, the efforts that you are putting in to spread knowledge to the community people. It's good to see all these things. Kudos to all your efforts.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for your beautiful words, ma'am.
Yeah. You people are like inspiring for the young minds to take up actions and to spread knowledge like this. Keep going. Keep up this great work going.
For sure, ma'am. Your talk was very inspirational, and we will do that, ma'am. And on behalf of IEEE I have to thank you for the session that you provided today. It's really amazing and insightful, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Today we have came to know about the complete Microsoft Azure certification things, ma'am. I'd like to thank you again on behalf of IEEE team.
Yeah, is and you guys are like participating in the hackathon, right? And I have heard that most of you are working in the IoT domain. So is in Microsoft we have IoT certifications as well. So since you're working on your project with IoT domain, it definitely shows that you have interest in that field. So go for these certifications, start with Azure fundamentals. Definitely you will be standing out of other candidates who are attending the interview along with you. So as if you get time every now and then, at least 1 hour a day, and sitting for 2 months is more than enough to complete the certifications. This is especially good like if you are in the final year or pre-final year, because final year students will be in your odd semester, right? So is this is a very good time to start with the certification. Only academics kind of things will never help, because everybody is putting CGPA, everybody is putting in their resume, I attended this workshop, that workshop. If every resume is looking same, then how will they choose the best candidate, right? So these certifications offered by big companies like Microsoft will definitely add value. So go for it, prepare for it, learn, never stop learning.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Thanks for your guidance, ma'am. And dear participants, if you have any queries or you can share your feedback with us by unmuting your mic so that we can know how far
And
we. Yeah, please, ma'am.
to those guys here, like if you can come on camera, may I see you? Like I'm not in a position to open my camera since I went on for eye surgery, but if you guys are interested, you can show your face on camera. I'll take a group picture before leaving.
Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. So participants, so please turn on your camera as per the request from our jury. So on the count of five, please turn on your video. I think we shall start the counting. So five, four, three, two, one.
I think
I guess.
everybody is busy in filling feedback form.
Hope so, ma'am.
Come on, guys, come on.
Guys, ma'am is expecting you. Thank you, Chetan.
I
So
will
come on,
come on
guys.
camera tomorrow while evaluating your project because like today I have lots of eye pain and I'm not able to come on the camera. So sorry for that.
That's not a problem, ma'am.
Come on, you can show your beautiful face. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Kalarasan.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Yeah. So, Kalarasan, were you also one of the volunteers here
No,
who is
ma'am.
organizing this? Okay. Okay.
Actually, he's a senior member, ma'am, and a good mentor also for our IEEE.
Okay. I'm from Panimalar Institute of Technology, and during the time when I organized webinar during my college days, Kalarasan used to attend all the webinars that we organized. Like he's like he has become a member of PIT by then, and it's very good to see that you have implemented the same here, taking so many efforts, learning lots of things just for the benefit of the community people. Like those time you got benefited out of the thing that we organized, and now you